Testing, testing. Can we get audio? Does the side chain work? 1 2 1 2. Yeah, it's working. Hello, anybody? Is audio working? Can you hear me? Leon? Give me a 1 in chat if sound is on. Hey, thank you, Laris. This is just a test. I announced I was going to go live at 6 p.m, but I've never gone live before. How very exciting. And weird. How's the screen look? Can you read things? Can we see any plugins and stuff? We all working? Cool. Whey! Thank you, Mr. Dollahan. Thank you. Oh, I can see the stream now. It's actually quite far behind. Yes. Right. Okay. Oh, slow mode. Hang on. I wonder if I can change that live. Customization. There we go. Yeah, slow mode's a bad default to have when you've only got 2 or 3 2 or 3 listeners. There we go. Right, well, I'm not supposed to be live for another hour. What should we do in the meantime? Interesting. My piano is super wobbly. Why is that? wonder if I've changed patch. Sounds like I've got a tape plugin on it or something. Let me load a fresh one. Not that it matters. Oh, that's weird. Can you guys hear that? Is that wobbling? And it sounds like it's got reverb on it, which it shouldn't do at all. That's really strange. Let me try the M1 instead. How utterly bizarre. Rumplers, rumplers, rumplers. I have too many samples. Absolutely too many samples. Load. Oh no, that was wobbly as well. That's a disaster. What's causing that? Let me turn my sidechain compressor off. It can't be a compressor, surely. No, it's not that. Anything on the master by accident? No. Metering, goniometer, loudness. They're not even running. That's weird, because the playback audio sounded fine. Let me grab a piano piece. Come on, drive, load, load.
Give your love as deep as
kind of sounds distorted, but it's... I suppose that's not wobbling in tune. Very odd. Riffs. What about them? I was thinking we should just make a track from scratch, right? That's what everyone was asking for. We do piano house from scratch. Cool. Right, so I'll tell you what I'm in the mood for. Vassetti. Anyone else a fan? I know one of you requested this, and I was already a fan of it beforehand. Tony Vassetti's was thinking of using that for the reference. I reckon we can do that. Live. Distribution? You mean, Neon, do you mean digital distribution, like how to get your tracks to Spotify, etc.? Apple? Or is that a typo and it was distortion? I can put it on the list. Meanwhile, let me grab the tempo. Yeah, I think the chat's quite far behind me. I've got this set to low latency streaming as well. God knows what normal latency streaming's like. Let's grab the tempo of... Yes, Beatport. Your one-stop shop for distribution is just go to DistroKid. I would normally recommend Ditto as they're English and I'm English, but they're actually nowhere near as good. Sorry, Ditto. I've got a friend over there, but no, their service is nowhere near as good. We use DistroKid, which is the American one. I think they're part owned by Spotify now as well, but they distribute to everyone at the same time. Beatport, Apple, Deezer, Spot. There's about 20, 30 of them. I can't keep track. I think everything apart from Bandcamp, basically. DistroKid is who you want. It's pretty cheap as well. You can do it track by track or on a yearly, I think. About 30, 50 pounds, 30 pounds, can't remember now. My manager takes care of that these days. I wouldn't be able to do that without the chap at Mixrupt called Johnny. Right, what was I doing? Tempo. It looks like we are 124, is it? 120, yeah, 124, no. 123. That should work out. Any training for ear? Any tips for ear training other than practice? Woof. Yeah, it's not an easy. It's not the answer anyone wants to hear, is it? But there really isn't many shortcuts. Well, I say there's no shortcuts. When I did it, I was just so obsessed with music as a kid, from about the age of 11, I think I started. So the advantage for me was I just had all the time in the world, right? Because adulting is hard. Now we don't have any time. But even then, back then, I was on, I was recording off the radio. I would literally start, stop, rewind, start, stop, rewind, start, stop, rewind, and I would just have a keyboard ready there, or you could have your push or whatever, anything you could press notes on, and it was just try and find the first beat of the bar, play, stop, rewind, play, stop, rewind, play, stop, rewind, just keep playing the first beat like this. And initially I did melodies because obviously melodies are much easier to hear. So if I wanted to know the vocal note of this, I would literally do that, and then I would stab around on the keyboard until I found it. Like that. And it's just literally one note at a time. That's it. Then you move on to the next one. You know what's going to be really hard? You know how this piano's gone a bit wonky? It's no longer in concert pitch. As in, I'm slightly flat. Oh, I figured out, you know what it is. You're not going to believe this. My phone was resting on the Ableton push on the pitch bend. So I was permanently pitched down. That's all it was. Okay. Panic over. Pianos are fine. We're no longer wobbly. I am a professional, guys. I'm a professional. Honest. It's only been 15 years. Oh, that's good to have a normal piano sounding better. I was panicking then. I was like, is that some kind of artifact of live streaming that I'm going to have to deal with? The other thing I'm dealing with is quite a lot of latency. Hello from South Korea. Holy moly. Welcome. How's things over there? I've never been. Where are we all from, by the way? Given most of the language in my comments, thank you. Thank you, Chung. Thank you. Yeah, that seems to be the most popular video so far. Oh, we've got Denmark. Okay. Nice, nice. Oh, Lanzarote. Like most UK residents, you wanted basically weather. Oh, we've got Manchester in the chat. You should recognise some of my accent then. I've spent a lot of time in Manchester. Ukraine. Oh, wow. Glory to the Ukraine, sir. I hope you're well and safe. We've got war. Poland. Okay, okay. All right, from South Korea, listening from Poland. I was going to say the time difference must be horrendous in South Korea. Brilliant. Fantastic. Okay. Right, so here's my first tip to all of you. This is going to be the reference rant. I was thinking about doing a video on this. One of those midweek rant videos. I just keep not finding the time. I'm really sorry. I want to do more midweek things, but this This week I was collabing with Sarah Sachs. I don't know if you've come across her on Instagram. I got her in the studio the other week. That was fantastic. That was taking up most of my week amongst my ghost gigs. 30-minute make challenge. Oof. Yes, I can make a track in 30 minutes. The thing is, you see, this is the dilemma of the whole make a track from start to finish. It can go one of two ways, right? Because you're dealing with a full geek here, guys, right? Full geek. So I can nerd out on any subject for an hour. And I'm sure we'll all learn something, but we won't get much done. Whereas I can make a track from start to finish in... Oh, I need to silence my phone. Told you I'm a professional. I could do a start to finish in pretty fast time, but it's going to be using a lot of kind of pre-made resources. Like I would have to drag in a drum loop from an existing track, and then we can write on top of that from scratch, and we could probably finish a track within an hour, certainly an hour or 2 hours. But I won't be able to talk a lot during that and explain what I'm doing along the way. So that's the dilemma. I probably talk too much, as we've already established. I'm pretty sure most of my 20-minute videos could be like... I see most of these other YouTubers doing really concise content and shorts in like 60 seconds. I'm like, I wish I could do that. I actually started by making shorts because I thought it would be an easy way to learn the video editor software. And it was actually much longer to create a 60-second video than it was a 15-minute one. Because I didn't know what to chop out. So, let's try. Let's just get cracking and see how we go. Let me put my Do Not Disturb on. Let's go a few hours here. Turn on. There we go. I think Ableton's excellent, for beginners, because it's very drag and drop. I came from Pro Tools and Cubase. In fact, I've used them all. I used to be a retail shop guy. I was a software guy that sold all the software, and they used to send us off on training courses. You weren't allowed to sell the software unless you'd done a training course in it. So we sold Cubase, Pro Tools, Logic, Ableton, and even before there was one called Digital Performer, Sonar by Cakewalk, then Roland. So I knew how to use good 6 or 7 of the DAWs, and when Ableton moved to version 4, we got VST support, and that was when I jumped from Cubase. So I could use the same plugins I was using in Cubase on Ableton, because Pro Tools, Cubase, Logic were all very obsessed with trying to behave like a real desk with faders, and it's not really very usable with a mouse. Whereas Ableton was the first, what I call drag and drop DAW. There was 2 DAWs that came through, Ableton and Traction. Traction was also a really good one for just... being really good if you're just a mouse user and you've not got faders and controllers and stuff like that. So that's why I like it. FL Studio is also really good. Yep, you started on 6. Yeah. I almost left for Bitwig because Bitwig was started by some of the Ableton devs, and at the time I was a bit annoyed with Ableton because it was suffering from a lot of feature bloat. I used to love how refined and simple Ableton was, and it just started getting more and more features from other DAWs, and it started becoming less. It started becoming less live. You could do everything live. You never saw a progress bar across your screen. It was never thinking. You could do everything live on the fly. In fact, I used to use it to perform live with a band, and there was no other DAW you could trust to do that at the time. But then it started to get freeze tracks, and other stuff, and it started looking like a normal DAW, and I was very scared for it. Whereas Bitwig looked like the stripped down Ableton that Ableton used to look like. So I nearly jumped for Bitwig, but no, Ableton's still great. Thoroughly recommended. I think the main, if you look at the popularity of hashtags on any social media, the two big ones are FL Studio is probably the biggest, and Ableton. And I'm not saying just go with whatever's popular, but in terms of whatever you want to learn from, I certainly don't recommend a course, because YouTube exists, right? And even TikTok. So you're really just looking for the DAW that's got the most community support. And in that case, it's probably FL Studio or Ableton. Logic's up there as well, I think. It's quite high on the hashtag. There's definitely lots of videos out there for Logic, but I try to keep it quite DAW agnostic, because at the end of the day, all MIDI and audio is fine in every DAW. We used to have these arguments decades ago about which one sounded better, and then I did a test to prove that none of them did anything different on the fundamental level. When Cubase invented 32-bit float recording audio in the late 90s, as soon as every other DAW adopted that technique, we've had no kind of sound advantage ever since. So don't worry about things. You'll get the audio snobs saying one sounds better than the other, and it's absolutely false on a technical level. Hello from Lithuania, and thank you for the congrats. Is that Carlos? The best Ableton Groove swing setting. You know what? By default, I keep these MPC ones down here. I don't know if I downloaded them off the web or if they came with Ableton, because if you look at Ableton's grooves, there's 100. There's probably 200 in there. And for many, many years, I just used a standard 16th swing. In fact, this track we're going to reference today, Tommy Vercetti. I could already hear that's very swung. So we're definitely going to be diving into swing if you stick around. I'm probably going to use these ones because, in fact, just to prove the point. Yeah, we're going to take just a few of the standard Ableton 16th swing, probably 64%, 66%. We probably don't need to go much past 68%. That's pretty damn skippy. I don't think we'll have to go past that for this. The pluck bass video, Carlos, wasn't heavily swung. There's probably a little bit on there. Yeah, probably like you could just use a standard Ableton swing or whatever swings in your DAW, about 60%-ish, 60 to 65%. Hello, Jeff. So here's the question regarding let's make a track from scratch kind of thing. Do you want the long version or do you want the short version? Shall I just grab some drums quick, or do you want to see how I go about grabbing drums if I didn't have anything to start with? Because I've got a great piece of software to show you. Please show. Okay, you want the quick? I suppose we could do a bit of both. Right, I'll tell you what we'll do. So if I was going to... Alex wants long. Okay. We'll do the long version, but I'll be as quick as possible. How's that, Laris? I don't think anything quick's possible for me at this rate. I'm just chatting, aren't I? Yeah. Right, let me... Right. Sorry, just moving some things around my desk, so I've got access to my keyboard as well. Right, so the semi-quick version is, there is a great piece of software. Unfortunately, it's not a freebie. I do tend to use a lot of freebies as much as possible so I can share sessions with other people. But when I'm finding drums, any of you ever seen this this plugin? So the concept is, if you've been collecting samples for 15 years, I've been working with DJs for a good decade plus. Wasn't always purely electronic music, which is mostly where my income stream comes from these days. But if you work with a lot of DJs, everyone's got their own sample packs that they hand over, like, oh, you've got to use this, you've got to use this. So I've grabbed some kick drums from this guy. Your sample collection gets a bit swollen. And even with Ableton's amazing browser, you might be searching for kick drums for a couple of years before you decide on one. So this plugin scans your library of one-shots and groups them into tonal areas. So let me just turn this up because unfortunately the output's a little quiet. I have to put a good 10 dB on this every time I use it. So, for example, all the red ones are my kick drums. I figured out the general gist is on the right, they are bright. On the left, they are dull. The longer ones are at the bottom. And short ones at the top. Super handy for quickly finding sounds by zoning in on an area. And then once you've picked one, you can actually get it to suggest similar variations that it thinks are close in sonic qualities. That really speeds up finding drums for me. Waves have a free version actually, but if you don't pay for the plugin option, you have to use it as a standalone app. You can't integrate it into the DAW, which I find too slow, and their paid version is dearer than the paid version of this, so I just got this one. XO by XLN Audio. So for example, the way I would start I need to give you my reference rant before we do anything. I don't know if any of you watched Dan Worrell, hero of mine. He did a video on I can't remember what it was called. Communion wafers, about going to church and they give you those strange biscuits. I'm not religious, sorry. But he was saying the reason he references tracks, which is exactly the same reason I do, it's kind of like a palate cleanser at a meal. You need something to shock your ears to make them remember what kind of real life is, basically. The purpose of a reference, especially at the beginning, everyone should be referencing from the beginning, because a lot of people don't know this, but the ears and brain combo, they normalize to any audio environment after 20 minutes. So you know that thing where you've been working on a track all night and then you listen to it the next day and it's absolute trash? That is the reason why, because you spent more than 20 minutes listening to your own track. Okay, Carlos. Sorry, no worries, no worries. Thank you for popping by. I do rant, don't I? But yeah, referencing is really, really important because you need. This is my. By listening to this first, I've now got an oral reference that my brain is set up for. So every sound I look for and select, it's not about copying them. It's just about like a tonal balance thing. Usually I would have 3, 4 or 5 references as kind of an average. And also, if you're struggling for ideas, there's no better thing than just to take, get influence from your favourite tracks. The best way to learn is to copy your heroes. You don't have to release a direct rip-off of your heroes, but you'll learn far more by working out their decisions than completely guessing your way from scratch. So, the reason I bring that up is I'm going to start with the drop, and I'm going to start from the bottom to the top. I start by looking for this kick drum, or something similar. Get the click, rid of the click. So one of them super thumpy old school house kicks, and it's going to be pretty short. There we go, something like that. No, not quite. Got to be careful of masking. Obviously there's lots of stuff in the way. Actually, we can go to another part of the track that doesn't have. If I remember right, there's a bit of a break. Yeah. Here we go. And we can get an idea of what's going on at the top of the kick. Oh yeah, another warning. If anyone tells you to lay your kicks and you're a beginner, run a mile. Never. Well, not never, but that's... My advice is always just going to be find another kick. Don't EQ, compress, and layer until it sounds good. There's always a bit. You just might as well start the sound again because layering anything with low frequencies in is the fastest route to phase madness. You'll end up with a kick that sounds good. But then when you try and put it in the mix, weird stuff happens with the headroom, and yeah, it's just really hard to explain without getting super nerdy on the science of how phase affects like your DC output and stuff. But yeah, it's in other words, just look for the right kick in the first place. Don't be layering stuff up. Oh. 9090. There we go. I like that one. We're sticking with that. So I'm going to get the bottom end right first, because that's going to govern kind of the whole energy of the track. Throw some kick drums in. Yep, Jeff's been there before. Oh, I keep forgetting. I need to put everything inside this group so that when I speak, the sidechain happens. There we go. Apologies. I'm definitely a professional. Definitely a professional. Right, it's close enough. I'm going to do a clap now in the same way. Claps are usually a bit easier to find than kicks because they're not masked all in the low end of the track. Hey, Johnny. Hello, Johnny. My you know the reason I'm live, by the way. I spent 4 hours recording a video yesterday, and it was a one take. And guess what? None of the audio recorded. So I went to bed, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to try a live stream. Let's do it live. Actual live, not just recorded. Hey, Ross. How are we doing? We're doing Make a Live Piano House track. I was just ranting about the importance of referencing stuff. So Tommy Vicetti is our reference. I'm searching for kicks and claps. Welcome. Has everyone seen that meme of the old people at the slot machines? And every time they pull the lever, it's a new snare sound. I love that. Looks like we're up here. No, we're not. Aha, claps. Hey, you alright? That clap, the clap inside that would be good, but there's a snare over the top I don't like. We'll get there. We will get there. We're up here. There's a good one. Bright one. Need one of those dark 909. Ooh, there we go. Let's layer those three. See how we get. They're probably fine. Probably too bright, actually. But we don't have to be exact. They've certainly got the same vibe. Probably put a little bit of reverb on there. Now you're going to see me use these a lot. I've got, I've already made a bunch of Ableton racks, which is just a way of combining plugins. I don't know if for the non-Ableton users here. So I've got the free tile reverb here, but I've put it in a rack with some macro knobs already set up, so I can choose the send level into it, and I can EQ the sound before it gets to the reverb. So if you decide it's too bright, you can just that kind of thing. Sometimes easier than dealing with a plugin interface. Also, it's nice and easy to automate. You'll see me use the tile reverb a lot. Great free reverb for dance and most stuff, to be honest. Let's label stuff so we don't lose track. Top loops. I normally go to... if you want great top loops and you are a Splice member, go and grab a Mark Knight's pack. If you're just starting out, because... well, you'll hear now. I'm going to look for some hi-hat loops, and you'll probably find what you need is in there more often than not. And probably the person you're referencing already used the Mark Knight pack. To be honest. Very similar flavour of hi-hat, that's okay, so our basic vibes there. There's lots of skips, what I call skippy snares, swinging the groove in the reference track. We're going to come back to those because I'm going to wait till we put the piano line in, and then I'm going to draw the snares around the piano line so they don't get too cluttered. Also, I want to write the piano line behind a vocal first. Mayon, hello, welcome. We do some live piano house. Tommy Vercetti style. So next, I'm going to get the bass in. Of course, we're going to use Vital. Everything is vital, vital, vital. You know me. I like to keep things simple. And when you know the science of sound, you don't need anything more than just the good tools, good basic tools. So, bass-wise, let me listen properly to what's going on here. We've got this bit at the later on, haven't we? Oh, so it's very low. Obviously in key. We might not end up in the same key as him because, again, I'm going to write to a vocal. But Derbyshire. Phil's in Derbyshire. Okay, hello. Bass, I normally go sub. Mostly as a pure sine wave for the actual lowest frequencies. So we have control over those independently, and then I have a bass on top of that, which is kind of the character bass, slightly above sub level, kind of one octave up. This, however, sounds very deep already in the reference. Is that filtered? Is it the same here? No, it's pretty deep all the way through. Obviously, the piano is the star of our track. The bass isn't doing too much what I would call signature. There's no melody line in the bass. It's not calling attention to itself. So we just need a deep bass. What I'm going to do is, I do this a lot where I filter below a certain frequency. So I can hear clearer what is going on at the bottom without all the top stuff masking my judgment. The club toilet effect. You know the effect. Oh, thanks, Mayon. Yeah, thank you. 1K. I know. Can you believe it? Incredible. Thank you, everyone, by the way. So in the club toilet, what can you hear? I've gone for 100 hertz. It's just an arbitrary number. It's not, as long as it's low, 80, 100, 120, something like that. And then I'm going to listen to just above that, like 100 to 200. So there we can hear the upper bits of the bass. And can we still hear the bass above 200? Barely. What about over here? There. Just about hear the top of the bass. Where does it stop? So it's barely any bass, about 300. So, like I thought, it was very low. Not much going on above 300 at all. So it's... I'll still go sub and separate bass. And before I write a bass line, actually, we need a vocal... Again, I recommend, if you can't find a cooperative vocalist, of which in my entire life I've found one. Oh yeah, Isolate, yeah, good one. If you don't have Ableton, good shout, Dully. Nice one, thank you. Yeah, if you don't have Ableton, Isolate's another great, does the same job. You can, I think that's a 5-band, isn't it? Way of isolating bands of frequencies. I mean, you can do it with any EQ really, but it's quicker to do it with the buttons on a plugin like Isolate or EQ3 that comes with Ableton. Thank you for the suggestion. Always up for... That's a freebie as well. Freebie. Isolate is a free plugin. Always up for those suggestions. Thank you. Vocals. Yes, Splice. Everyone asks me, how do we get vocals? Just go to Splice. Until you get a good relationship with a singer that understands, you know, the modern way music is socially spread. It's very hard to find a vocalist that doesn't want several grand up front or or wants a major record label to release it, that kind of thing. So Splice is your savior. It's like any other sample library, though. You'll spend a good amount of time looking. Before you get a good one. But, you know, that's part of your ear training, right? I know I had... was it this pack? I'm pretty sure...
Just keep on showing me on the
Wrong stretch algorithm pro. We want... That sounds...
Just keep on showing me.
That's better.
You give me everything that a girl could ever need.
That's fine. Let's just go with that. What's the name? Oops. I am recording myself. B minor. Okay. It reckons it's 100. Ableton's already got it for 100.
You give me everything that a girl could ever need. Yeah, you're the kind of man that could help me to believe. Just keep on showing me all the light you got in you. We set each other free when we really get in tune, babe.
Okay, yep. I'll take that, that's fine. B minor, we can go. What is Tommy in? So that's the 615 by ear, but I don't know which 615. Let me just find out where he is. Right, okay, so he's starting on C. So he's in E minor. C, E, B. And I could definitely hear 9th at the top there. Yeah, so we're all extended. 9th chord to start with. 7th chord on chord 1. That's E minor. I'll show you the MIDI while we're here, so we know what we're listening to. So his first chord is this. Wrong octave. Listen to that. It's a 4-bar loop. And his second chord is that. You see the common tones already? And he shifts his whole chord down for this. Now let me show you that in trusty A, in case you've been following my streams forever and you're used to looking at things in A. So first chord, we start chord 6, which is F, because obviously A is our 1. This is all relative. There's his 1 chord, and this is the 5 chord. 6, 1, 5. But he is in he's in E. So in this case it's a C, E, B. So we know we want lots of extensions when we do our own. 9ths and 7ths if we want that vibe. Let's look at rhythm now. Now we're going to be guided by our vocal a lot, but I'm still going to work out his rhythm. See if we can gather any lessons of... He's doing the old 90s thing where the left and the right hand do different things, which I've not covered on my channel yet. So we've got, I think this is our... Have I ever used Fiverr for vocalists? You know what? I haven't. Have you? I've always wondered what the contract would look like. Maybe I can hear him do the dotted eighths all the way here. Yeah, okay, so it's 2 halves really. 2 different rhythms, 2 different halves. Okay. And what's going on in the right, the left hand? Sorry, it's definitely some kind of octave. I think it joins here, and then we do the bounce here. Right, left, right. Very 90s. That seems to have gone away recently. If people aren't emulating the 90s, Piano House has gone a lot more straightforward, where the left and the right hands do the same things, whereas this bouncy thing was really popular in the 90s. Our B minor vocal is working on E minor. Who'd have thought? We got another bounce here. Can't quite hear what's going on there. I think it's that. And there's only one bounce here. And the same there. Close enough for jazz. Anyway, again, we're not going to copy him directly. We just want to know what's going on inside the track. while we're here, I don't think the M1's cutting it. It doesn't sound like he's used an M1. If he has, it's a small layer. So this is a good chance to show you another free piano that came out after I made that video called Micro Piano by Meat Beats. Another free one. Apparently uses another famous 90s sample that did the rounds on Akai samplers back in the day. Now, different octave, and that's the fault of the M1. I think the M1 sample is actually an octave too low. So let me just compensate that quickly in case we layer them. Hello, Jamie. Oh yeah, the Fiverr. Yeah, one-off fee is obviously what you're looking for. I presume it's more than a $5. Right. Let's just hear this one on its own. Bit of a layer on the M1. Not bad. Well, the other thing we need to check as well is we need to compare in mono only. Well, I was just about to say that's interesting. Okay. Observations, right. I was just about to say, don't worry too much about getting exact piano sounds from your references, because pianos are they're almost like human voices. No two sound the same. No two sound the same in real life, never mind what happens to them when they're sampled. So if you don't know the piano that was used, you're never really going to get there. There's no amount of EQ or compression or phasing or other tricks you can do to make one piano. You can't force one sound into another in the same way. Well, I say that. We're probably about a year away from AI being able to do it. Because, obviously we can now copy human voices, can't we? So never say never. But the principle stands. I wouldn't worry too much about getting the exact sound. What you're after is the amount of energy and the space it takes up in the track. Basically, you need to copy its purpose, but not its exact sound. You're never going to get there. Or if you do, it's going to take you a couple of years. I was just about to say, I'm not going to focus too hard on getting his exact sound. I can tell it's very bright. Something else I spotted as well is the drop piano is brighter than the break piano. He's definitely removed a lot of low frequencies to give the bass some room. That one is thinner than that one. It's not just the sidechain that's kicking in, there's other factors. And the other thing I don't want to copy is, look what happens to Tommy's track in mono. Lars, yes, I'll leave this as a VOD for later, which will no doubt be copyrighted to hell by Tommy Vicetti, but that's fine. Yes, I'll leave this as a VOD. Thanks for popping by, Lars. Yes, look what happens to Tommy Vicetti's track in mono. Listen to the piano. It goes from huge to tiny. There's your first red flag that there is too much stereo widening on the piano. It's wider than it is originally, which means the side channel is bigger than the mono channel, which means in some clubs that piano will absolutely sink. And some sound bars, some TVs, some phones, when it's played back, that piano will die. So we don't want to copy that. I'm actually going to just copy the left side of the track for now. Oh, well, actually, let's listen to the right side. I think the right sounds better. So we're definitely too thick. We know that much. I don't mind EQing for general vibe, but I'm not going to go exact. We'll be high passing anyway to let some room for the bass through. Let's get a side chain on there as well. Again, we're copying the energy more than anything. I love to use STFU. We all know what that stands for. Apologies to those of you who have already bought Volume Shaper, but there's a free alternative. If you get nothing else from my streams, you'll certainly learn what the free alternatives to all the big plugins are. Okay. I can already hear his piano is heavily what's called comb filtered from the processing. So I'm not going to copy that anyway because I actually prefer the sound of our raw piano here anyway. I'll show you what a comb filter is. In fact, I think Ableton's got a preset for this, right? Let's just load a notch. Yeah, some comb filtering basically means it's not something you manually do. It's when you're trying to layer sounds and they don't fit well together. You end up with these weird troughs and peaks in frequencies. That's how a phaser works, by the way, if you didn't know. It's just a bunch of notch EQs on the move. But I can hear that's happening to his piano from a result of the processing. And obviously you're never going to get this the same as his anyway. And that is not desirable in my opinion anyway. So I'm going to leave our piano exactly where it is right there. I think that's sounding fine. We've got the energy. We're going to leave his riff aside. And I'm going to label it in red. Call it Tommy, so I don't accidentally use it at a later date. I don't think I would. That riff's too iconic for me. But so we know we want some left-right hand skips, lots of sevenths, ninths. Let's work with our vocal and get a line in so we can think of some chords.
You give me everything that a girl could ever need. Yeah, you're the kind of man that could help me to believe. Just keep on showing me all the light you got in you. We set each other free when we really get in tune, baby.
Right, so she is...
You give me everything that a girl could ever need.
Yep, so she's on B.
You give me everything that a girl could ever need. Yeah, you're the kind of man. Yeah, you're the kind of man that could help me to believe.
Yep, all pentatonic so far, what we call pentatonic, the main 5 notes of the scale.
Just keep on showing me.
which is 1, 3, 4, 5, and 7.
Just keep on showing me all the light you got in you. Just keep on showing me. Just keep on showing me all the light you got in you. Just keep on showing me all the light you got in you.
Okay, there's our first note that's not in the chord of 1. She lands on a 4 there, so we'll have to pay attention to that.
Just keep on showing me all the light you got in you. We set each other free when we really get in tune.
And then she finishes on a 5. So everything apart from bar 3 could be put over chord 1. So we've got free reign for the bars 1, 2, and 4. Bar 3, we're probably going to have to accommodate the fact she moves to note 4, which limits our chord choices slightly. And rhythm-wise, she's mostly square.
You give me everything.
Du, 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 du.
You.
This is what we've got.
You give me. You give me everything.
So you can visualize it.
You give me everything.
Whoops.
You give me everything. You give me everything. You give me everything.
Mm-hmm.
You give me everything that I got.
Mm-hmm.
You give me.
This is syncopated. So I'm already looking at this as a piano rhythm.
You give me everything that I got. You give me everything that I got.
Mm-hmm.
You give me everything that I got and need.
Something like that.
Got and need.
Landing on.
And need. Yeah, you're the kind of man that could help me to believe.
So the only syncopation I'm worried about is that. This is the stuff that's not on the grid. Not on the 8th grid anyway. So my bass line and chords are going to follow something here, I think. So we don't, whoops. I mean with the vocal. We're going to do something here. So let's get a rhythm in. I might start off the beat with her.
You give me everything.
And then that's our rhythm.
You give me everything that I.
Let's try a few basic chord progress. I'm just going to put the bass kind of note in and we'll see if it works with the vocal.
You give me everything that I got and need. Yeah, you're the kind of man that could help me to believe.
Yeah.
Just keep on showing me all the light you got in you. We set each other free when we really get in tune, baby. You give me everything that I got and need. Yeah, you're the kind of man that could help me to believe.
That's all right. That's a 1 6 7 1. Chord 1, chord 6, chord 7, chord 1. That's already fitting. Let's try. Actually, I kind of fluked that, so that's actually very strong. I'm probably going to use that, but let me just show you how I would, go about making some options. If you're not sure on one, just slide it to the right. And if you're an Ableton user, the best bit is if you make a really good piano sound that you like, you can drag this single track into any other project and all of your other riffs will be there slid off to the right, so you can use them for other tracks.
You give me everything that I need.
That makes sense. You can have yourself lots of spare riffs that you weren't sure about that might work with other songs. Let me try a 6 for 1 7.
You give me everything that I need. Yeah, you're the kind of man that could help me to believe.
Maybe 6 for 1.
Just keep on showing me all the light you got in you. We set each other free when we really get in tune, baby. You give.
That works as well. 6 5 1.
You give me everything that I need. Yeah, you're the kind of man that could help me to
Not good.
believe. Just keep on showing me.
Are we starting the 30 minutes, Chung? Are we doing it? Is this the beginning? House track in 30 minutes. Okay, let's go.
You give me.
Well, we know that was not as good. So 6/4/1's an option. Let's do one more. She sounds like she's starting on 1. Let's just do the standard 1 6 4.
You give me everything that a girl could ever need. Yeah, you're the kind of man that could help me to believe. Just keep on showing me all the light you got in you. We set each other free when we really get in tune.
Also good. Let's vote. Let's put these in different colours. So we've got green.
You give me everything that a girl could ever need. Yeah, you're the kind of man that could help me to believe. Just keep on showing me all the light you got in you.
One's in chat for green.
You give me everything that a girl could ever need. Yeah, you're the kind of man that could help me to believe. Just keep on showing me all the light you got in you. We set each other
Two's in chat for blue.
when we really get in tune, baby. You give me everything that a girl could ever need. Yeah, you're the kind of man that could help me to believe. Just keep on showing me all the light you got in you. We set each other free when we really get in tune, baby.
Three's in chat for purple. 1, 2, or 3. What do we reckon? Or can you not hear much difference? I'll have to account for how far chat is behind. We've got a 2, we've got a 3. Two. Two. Play again. Here's 1.
You give me everything that a girl could ever need. Yeah, you're the kind of man that could help me to believe. Just keep on showing me all the light you got in you. We set each other free when we really get in tune, baby.
That was 1. This is 2. The most popular so far.
You give me everything that a girl could ever need. Yeah, you're the kind of man that could help me to believe. Just keep on showing me all the light you got in you. We set each other free when we really get in tune, baby.
That was 2. And this is 3.
You give me everything that a girl could ever need. Yeah, you're the kind of man that could help me to believe. Just keep on showing me all the light you got in you. We set each other free when we really get in tune, baby.
Two. I like neon. I like Yeah, everyone says 2. Let's go 2. Two it is. So he had an octave on the bass. So we'll do that.
You give me everything that a girl could ever need.
Let's do our chords. Let me actually, for those of you who don't know B minor, and I don't expect my viewers to know their scales, nor should you, let me pitch this up 2, because then I can program everything on the white notes and we'll be in the same key. A up 2 is B.
You give me everything that a girl could ever need.
Should be a little bit easier to follow. Chords, right? We know we want sevenths, so a seventh would be this.
You give me everything that.
Let's look at some voicings.
You give me everything that. You give me everything that. You give me everything that.
What, the ninth?
You give me everything that.
No. No. We are 5 keys away from Tommy, so we're not going to have the low energy. we will differ in that sense. This sounds okay.
You give me everything that a girl could ever need.
I can already hear we would yeah, the other piano is
You give me
this is I've layered the M1 in, so this is a layer of the M1 I did in the tutorial, and then this one was released micro piano by Meat Beats. It might be Beats with a Z. A famous Akai sample, apparently. Micro Keys. No, Micro Keys is a similar thing, but it's not got the famous piano in it. Micro Keys is like all the other sounds from that module. This is just the piano, and they're both free. Well, I think they're donationware, technically.
You give me everything that a girl could ever need.
Well, I can already hear what's happening here.
You give me everything that a girl could ever need. Yeah, you're the kind of man that could help me to believe.
And then I think I'm going to nuts. I like this melody going down here.
You give me everything that a girl could ever need. Yeah, you're the kind of man that could help me to believe.
Put the seventh down here, maybe.
You give me everything that a girl could ever need. Yeah, you're the kind of man that could help me to believe.
And we are nowhere near swung enough. Who was asking about swing? I'm going to apply some now. I'm going to try 64%.
You give me everything that a girl could ever need. Yeah, you're the kind of man that could help me to believe.
Too much, a little bit too much that.
You give me everything that a girl could ever need. Yeah, you're the kind of man that could help me to believe.
Okay, I think we're pretty... if you want to know what I did there, so this is just the, chord 1, A, C and E, this is its 7th. The reason I copied it across, even though the bass changes, is because the bass is just moving here. So this is still a chord. We now move to chord 6, which is this one, with the F. And these two just act as even further extensions. So now this would be the 7th of that chord. Now this is the 9th. So our first chord is 7th.
You give me everything that a girl could ever need.
Our second chord is a 9th. It's a 9th chord, F major 9. Not including the transpose that we did earlier. We're technically in B, aren't we? So that would be a G major 9. But splitting hairs, doesn't matter. It's chord 6 of the scale. And it's the 9th version of it. Here I like this. I already knew that the F would work in D. So I dropped that down. As you can see, if you build a chord from D upwards, there's an F in there. This is our 7th note now. The D doesn't have to be there, can be there, it doesn't matter because it's already in the bass. But I like the crunchiness of it next to that C. And then instead of going back to our chord 1 that we have here, I let this leading line, what we call voice leading, I let the 7th go from, sorry, this is now the 9th note, isn't it? From here to here to here. And then we put the 7th in at the bottom, which I'm not sure about yet. It's a bit distracting. I might just drop the velocity of it. It feels wrong doing Versetti without 7th, so... That's okay, that's okay. Now we need the left and right hand back and forths. I can hear a skip here. Yeah, let's do them here. That sounds pretty good. And we want to change the rhythm up for half of it, don't we? So let's try his trick of just lots of dotted. That's okay. Let's get our bass in. Now, I'm just going to copy across. Oh, we've not made the second bass sound yet, have we? Let's just do that. Actually, very simple. Because we don't need a character bass. It's not the classic house bass in the sense that it's really a signature sound. This is just doing its job as a sub almost, just a little bit above the sub. I can already hear he's using lots of notes of the chord occasionally in between. So we're going to start with our main. I need to pitch this up as well. Behave. There we go. I don't want octaves. That's going to be fine. All we do, we take a saw wave. Saw wave has great default harmonics. I have to explain fast, but if I play... my keyboard stopped working. And so has my push. That's really annoying. I'll just quickly show you. If you see the harmonics that come off a note on a saw wave, see how evenly spaced they all are? The bottom one is the fundamental, then there's an octave, then there's a fifth above that, and then another octave. It's what we call the harmonic series, and they get closer and closer together. It's a very natural distribution of harmonics. If you look at a square wave, there's a big gap at the bottom. The square wave has no second harmonic, no octave, which is what gives it that hollow sound, as opposed to the saw. It's also brighter at the top. But it can be good for certain basses, but if you just want lots of good, solid, fundamental frequencies, you usually want a saw in there at some point. And I can already hear Vassetti's is definitely saw-based. It's nothing special, we're just going to use a filtered saw. I'm probably going to apply a little bit of an envelope to... watch last week's filter tutorial, synth tutorial. If you want something a bit more substantial on this, throw a little bit of drive on. And that's probably all we're going to do for our upper bass. Now I need to decide where this crosses over with the actual sub. And I already know when we're in B, because A is normally 440, right? You divide that by a few octaves, you get 220, 110, 55. So the sub frequency of a key of A is 55 hertz. So B is probably 60 and a bit, somewhere 60. Let's have a look. Where's our low B? Yeah, 62, 61-ish. So I'll be cutting off above there for our higher bass, and our sub bass is going to literally be a sub sine wave. Now if you can't hear that, your speakers or headphones are going to need some work. Personally, I recommend Sennheiser HD25s, old pair of DJing headphones. Quite cheap now. Really good. And we definitely need to sidechain these. Actually, let me put STFU on the kick, just so I can see visually how long it is. Nice and short. So our kick is over by the third bar. That lets me know I can squeeze the bass, like the sub bass anyway, at least there. Something like that. And the upper bass doesn't have to be sidechained as severely, because that's kind of more character. It's not going to be interfering as much with the sub frequencies, especially when I do what I said I was going to do. We're going to cross it over at above 60 hertz. I had a brain fart, sorry. 60, let's go 70. 70 will be fine. Now we've got control over sub sidechain, separate to, well, I say sidechain. This is technically tremolo, if you're going to be nerdy about it, but everyone knows what it means. Volume manipulation. Sidechaining would involve actual compressors, but I'm just going to call this bass. Everything's looking like the same color, so let us not do that. Sorry, drink of water. Now, already what I can hear is we don't want those, you know, those early notes from the left hand skips of the piano. I don't think those are sounding good in the bass. I think we need to go with the right hand of the piano. Longer notes. And I'm going to put the bass on the one as well, I think. Just kind of let itself be known so you can hear it separate to the piano a bit. That's the one I'm going to have to stop. Let's get some verb on our vocal. If I could spell, that would help. None of those. None of those. Let me go reverb. Epic Plate by Variety of Sound. Speaking of good free software. Variety of Sound, one of my favourite plugin manufacturers. Done. I don't even need to change anything. Might be a bit long. But you know. Our bass is too bright compared to his. I'm going to steepen the filter.
Just keep on showing me all the light you got in you. We set each other free when we really get into, baby. You give me everything that a girl could ever need.
Yeah, this is Splice Vocal Purple.
You give me everything.
Delay as well. We're going to, I just use Ableton's own delay. Again, I've set up one of these racks where I have things pre-assigned, so I can do dull, bright repeats. Just speeds the whole process up. And we can sidechain off the vocal track as well, so we don't have the echoes interfering with the main vocal. They only come after she stops singing. So. Right. I've already committed the sin I mentioned at the beginning. I haven't referenced enough. And of course, we sound nothing like because we've listened to our own music for too long. Now our ears are normalized to our own track and not the reference. He does drop with a vocal, doesn't he, at some point? There we go. I know I still need more percussion. Bass is too low. Actually, I need to check the sub-region. How do we compare, even though we are in the wrong key? Let's get this in the ballpark. Yep, they'll swap pretty well. Let's check the upper mids, lower mids I mean. Yep. So we can be confident the fundamental, like the roots of our track are similar to the reference. So if you know a DJ that plays this track out live and it works, then ours will too. Yeah, the piano is still annoying me, but so be it. Our bass didn't have pitch on, it's out of tune. Hello. Want to add the sub sine oscillator to the bass? I already have. Yeah, we've got one here. Way ahead of you. No. I was saying that earlier, yeah. That's we often do that, so we've got separate control versus the kick drum. Oh, you got the VXX. Yep. I like the Slate software. I'm not sure about 600 quid for headphones though. Did you get them on sale? Yeah. I just have to accept that our piano is actually stronger than his sonically. I don't think our line's quite as good, but you know, attempt number one is fine. We learn every time we try. Right, we want some of those skippy snares, and I think I can hear shakers. There's a bright layer on the hi-hat as well, yeah. Certainly at this end part of the track. His voice has got a little bit more mids in it as well, but something around there. It's actually less bright. But again, I'm not going to go too hard on trying to be exact because we're in a different key, it's a different song, it's a different vocalist. Bear these things in mind. As long as the energy's matching, I'm good. We've got the bottom end right. Oh yeah, subliminal cuts. Hi-hats. Let's go searching for some more. Do-do-do. Back to the Mark Knight pack for now. You know what? That's not bad. I know it's not a hi-hat, that's a ride, but actually no, it's too much like a shaker. Not working. All these are quite shakery, aren't they? Oh, that's got the 808 layer on it, the fizzy hi-hat. Yeah. I just want some hi-hats, I mean some shakery hi-hat things. Only problem is this is a square shaker. So I'm going to have Ableton divide it in beats mode. And then we can swing it properly. Like that. Right, let's put some stereo on this piano because it is mono. We grab Stereo Touch by Voxengo. Everything before the sidechain. The default is way too much. Get this down to Haar's range, below 30 milliseconds. 6 dB down, take off the extreme highs and lows. That's all you need to do.
Keep on showing me all the light you got in you. We set each other free.
Let's find some skippy snares. Let's go back to XO. We want short, like that. Oops. Rim shots can work as well. I'd prefer actual snares. Maybe that's a bit stereo. Too bright. They need to be kind of inconsequential. They're going to be very background. Background percussion. Maybe it's a bit signature. A bit standout. Bit trap. What's over this side? The dull ones. A bit low. Could pitch it up. You'll see why I want them high in a minute. That's probably enough. Something like that. I would usually spend a bit longer on finding these. Right. You'd have to work without the vocals well. Make sure we match our swing. That should actually go, I think. Let us I want to hear not perfect. Let me get the vocal in and see if we've damaged anything. Take off the lows and highs, we don't want it to stand out. Not bad, not bad. We got semblance of a drop there. Let me grab I just want a crash cymbal in. Jamie got them for $3.29. That's much better, yeah. They sound great if you've got, you know, no other options for your listening environment. That's obviously a good solution. The Slate headphones. I've had a few friends, engineers and non-engineers, tell me they're really helping them. Let's build. Let's build to this. Right. Crash. I want the... There's a great pack by Thomas Penton. Pretty sure the first... I think that's just a 909 Crash, but it's the classic. You already know what I'm going to do with this, right? The 90s 4 Crash. I'm pretty sure he does it as well, does he, right? Yeah. Ah, we need some verb on that piano, actually. That's another thing. Let's grab the Tal reverb. Before the sidechain. Yeah, some of those skips aren't right, but leave it for now. We're not necessarily going to drop with the vocal anyway, are we? So might need to find a loop out of this vocal. He doesn't have a full phrase, does he? This is what I call a dub vocal, dub decoration vocal. Loop. Let's have the claps going. Maybe I'll start with the full phrase and then loop it. What phrase would we loop?
We set each other free when we really get in tune, baby. With me, I'm a lot you got in you. We set each other free when we really get in tune. Really get in tune. Really get in tune.
Maybe the end there. Actually, let me put the vocals in a group. Then I'm going to put the effects on the group. Then we can do this overlap.
We really get into, 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 really get into.
Not what I wanted. The loop's not feeling very good.
You give me everything that a girl could ever need. Yeah, you're the kind of man that could help me to believe. Just keep on showing me all the light you got in you. We set each other free when we really get into, 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 really get into.
No, that's not a good hook.
You give me everything.
It's got to be that, hasn't it? The you give me everything.
You give me everything. You give me everything. You give me everything. You give me everything.
Let's freeze the piano on one.
You give me you give me everything. You give me everything. You give me everything. You give me everything.
Oh, the timing. It's doing my heading. She's early somewhere.
You give me you give me everything.
I think it's something like that.
You give me everything. You give me everything.
No. Is that?
You give me everything.
Oh no. I need a short Ev.
You give me everything.
It won't give me one.
You give me everything. You give me everything. You give me everything.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it.
You give me everything. You give me everything. You give.
Right. We need to, and then we can finish the phrase here, can't we? Yeah.
You give me everything that a girl could ever need.
I'm gonna have a separate delay for echoing off the need.
Girl could ever need. Girl could ever need. Girl could ever need. Girl could ever need.
And what else?
Keep on showing me all the light you got in you. We set each other free when we really get in tune, baby. You give me everything. You give me everything. You give me everything. You give me everything.
Okay.
You give.
Let's get a snare roll in. Again, I think there's a great one in the. You can make one quite easily, but the Mark Knight pack again. One of these. Let's just grab you for now. The sounds like a 909.
You give me everything. 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 You give me everything.
And then we stop. We've yet to figure out how we're going to starve and deliver.
Baby, you give me everything. Everything that a girl could ever need.
Let's filter out the lows on the... It's not quite swung enough. So let's let Ableton do its thing. Beats mode, transients, forward only, swing. Whoops. No, not that far. That's okay. I'll show you my smudger. Excuse me, I keep having these like hunger burps in the throat. And I'm not sure if they're coming across on the mic. But if you hear a weird croaking sound, it's something going on in my throat right now. It's been happening more and more to me recently when I've been speaking for too long. Right, the smudger is something I made ages ago. Time saver. It's just a reverb and an echo and a high pass filter all in one plugin with one knob. I did actually try to code this as a real plugin, but I could not find a way of coding a decent sounding reverb myself. I didn't have the expertise, so it stays in Ableton Rack. You can see it's just reverb, delay, high pass filter, all being turned up by one knob, and it's a great time saver when it comes to quick builds. That kind of thing. Hey up. That's the semblance of a drop, right? Let me label this vocal. Excuse me. Right. How about... I know what we could do. I'm trying to think how we might escalate the final drop. Everyone needs to know about the one note string trick, right? We know this one? I was thinking about doing a video on extra details like ARPs and so forth. Here's the simplest form of that. Where did I put it? No, instruments. There we go. Just any string sound on one held note. We're in B, right? I've already got the side chain ready to go. We need to do the full crash breakdown as well. Oh, I'm too early. I'm too early. When you've got your build and your drop, you are 85% of the way there, I would say. I often like to pick up with a good old school ride sample. .808 or 909 is fine. That's an 808, by the way. The really artificial, bright sounding one. They're sometimes good for cutting through if you need more fizz at the top. That's kind of 909-y. We're going to go with that. Let's just drop that as a sample. I don't know why Ableton defaults to -12 on the sampler. It's very frustrating. Having to deal with that every time. Just put that on the offbeats. Let's have might take the kicks out there. We need a fill vocal, don't we? Timing on that is still annoying me. What's Phil asking? Sorry. Every week, Phil. Oh. Oh, we could do. I wouldn't have time to do any other videos though. Well, you let me know. Is this more helpful than a dedicated video on a subject? Gonna get rid of the sub whenever the kick goes, because that sounds weird otherwise. Especially in a club. When the kick disappears and the sub's still there, it does weird things to the sub speakers. Especially if they're still behind the side chain. unless you're deliberately going for that kind of sucking effect, which can be cool. Let's go bass only for a section. I'm feeling vocal back in. No ride. Feel the piano. Last bar of the piano back in there. We have the opportunity to spice up our bass line while it's got a little bit more space. Yeah, I have set the sampler to 0 as a default. It doesn't seem to save it for some reason, Dolly. Yeah. I've tried that already. I'm not sure what's... It might just be a bug. Right. First way to spice up a bass line is just change some octaves. That kind of thing. Try this one. Put one in here. Yeah, that works. I like it. And for some reason it feels like it could be swung more at this. I'm actually hearing, I'm not sure if it's our clap or kick, but I might just put the bass behind a few milliseconds. I want it to drag slightly for extra funk. Audio delay by Voxengo. Sound delay, not audio delay. There it is. Put this before the sidechain. We don't want the sidechain to be messed up. I'm just going to choose not samples, milliseconds. Yep. Let's try 2 or 3 milliseconds. Yeah, 5's feeling good. I'm going to make the sub match as well. Yeah. I'm feeling the classic hands in the air, kick and piano only. Something like that. I think we can get a double build in here. Maybe get a hi-hat in. We could put the piano under the filter for once. We've not done that yet. Keep it interesting. Filter. Oops. Spell. My room's gone really dark and now I can't see the keys. I am making music in the dark, but don't we all? Don't we all? Right. Live videos once a month. Yeah, it's possible. Well, now I know how to do it. I spent the first 3 hours with an error message from OBS saying your YouTube channel is not eligible for live streams. And it was. So I was just kind of stuck in a loop of yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, until I figured out a way around it. But now I know how to do it. I mean, if you're enjoying it, I think I ramble too much and I'm a bit boring. But, you know, that's just everyone's opinion of themselves, isn't it, really? I've never really been a on-screen celebrity personality type. I suppose that's why I like Dan Worrell so much. I think vocal... We could do this whole thing actually with the smudge. And filter the vocal as well. Nice break.
You give me everything that a girl could ever need. Yeah, you're the kind of man that could help me to believe. Just keep on showing me all the light you got in you. We set each other free when we really get into it, baby.
Turn automation lock off. We're going to loop the piano again on the one. Starve them of chord movement. I need to bring the... I'm going to bring the lows out of the kick. In fact, from here we can do the kick double up. Why not? Swing the last one. Whoops. Need to reset the automation now. I only want that filter on in this section. Vocal chops, as in chop them further. Let's do... That's not what I asked for at all. There we go. Can we get back round, or do we just not? We don't have to, we can just wash this one out completely. Oh yeah, because we dropped with the vocal this time. Why not? So... Let me change this so it's a little bit more reverb than it is echo. It's just too loud at the end, that's all. That's fine, yeah. I think the snare can actually not high pass. Up and back down. Let's put my drums in a group. I'm going to fade them as well. So everyone's up for one a month, right? Oh, we're doing Bizarre Inc. Don't worry, Dolly. That's on the list. Yep. Was it you suggested Pennies from Heaven as well? Because that was a good shout. We're getting there. This is coming together. Another trick. Always worth. I've just noted that hi-hat is really obvious in the breaks. And a nice little trick you can do is just a gentle filter of the highs in the non-drops. Can still be quite high, like 12k something. But then we let that go when we drop. So you basically starve them of extreme highs and extreme lows, just like you would high pass a kick and then drop it full. That kind of principle. Yeah, it works better. Swap it up. Something like that, maybe? Her baby's not swinging. That's a terrible sentence out of context, isn't it? Oh, God. Maybe that. Quick idea. Really Kicks out. Now we haven't done the Vassetti swap up yet. It's not necessary. But if we did want to, let me quickly put these fills in. Oh, we could do the Mr. One as well. I'm going to delete everything off the first beat of the bar, and we could do that's a good idea, and we can reverse. Here's another one I've made earlier. I call it the swell. It's just a quick way of reversing something without having to render any audio. It's just a reverb. A really long reverb into a master volume. So you can just do that kind of thing. I should do that before the sidechain. There we go. Let's grab the cymbal, do the same as well. As soon as that is already audio, we can reverse. There we go. I'm going to add a fade. No, not a crossfade. A real fade. A little bit lower for that one. Put the funky bass in here. Phil, do you know how to master? Yes! We're doing it right now, believe it or not. You get your master track, as in your reference track, and you make sure you sound the same. And you've done it. Let me show you this at master level. So we're at 0, which is going to be the same as the Tommy Vassetti, and you're going to notice something. Now I'm not sure what YouTube's doing to it at your end, but apart from the vocal distorting occasionally, we are close to... Hello, Oscar. Hello. If I put a sidechain on this vocal to stop it clashing with the kicks, it doesn't have to be as severe as a piano one. Barnaby, hello. Hear anything wrong? Phil? These vocals are from Splice. You just got to go hunting. If you actually want to know the pack, search for VHM 100 vocal hook. I think the pack was called Mint Hooks or something. Mint Hooks. Yeah, so on my master, I have span. So I'm going to check for sub-level versus our reference. That tells me I could go a little bit less on the bass and a little bit harder on the kick. But I think we're fine. Again, we know he's in a lower key, so we're going to be a few hertz above. The only other things on my master are the goniometer. These are all freebies, by the way. Span by Voxengo for the FFT analysis. Goniometer by Tone Boosters, TB. This is just how far you are stereo versus frequency. I'm looking at this left one mostly. I don't want to go above the middle line. Actually, is he above? Yeah, you know how I said his piano was too wide? I bet that goes above. Yeah. Pushing it. Because it dies in mono. Sorry, that's not mono. So, yeah, keep an eye out on your stereo width. You don't want to go too far. Not for club music. If you're just purely for headphone users, you can do what you like. Don't advise it for anything that might be played in a club. What else is on my master? Loudness meter, yeah. Ulean loudness meter. So we are... -7 LUFS, which is probably way too hot. And you'll find everyone else is up there anyway. Yeah, we're about 0.3 off him. Oh, about the same, Spotify will drop that by at least 4 dB. So you don't have to be up here at all. You've got loads of headroom. If you want more kick, turn your entire track down and turn your kick drum up. Because you've got 4 dB, 4 or 5 dB to play with. I think Apple will drop that even further as well. Leroy! We are releasing them. We've just got so many in the pipeline. Yeah, this is all going to get released. This goes in the queue. Yeah, so the principal fill was get the sounds right. As long as, if you're matching your reference well enough, then you shouldn't have to do anything and you can just release it. That's how I work. The problem with, if I put a limiter on this, what I'm thinking about is, well, I also know the science behind distortion, right? So if you clip for less than a few hundred milliseconds, the ears can't detect it anyway. So I'd rather clip a drum peak than limit it. Listen to what happens when you limit this drop. Without. I'm listening for there is what people are going to be dancing to, what they're moved by. And unfortunately, limiters kind of destroy a lot of that. I mean, obviously, I don't have to be this loud, so we don't have to be pushing into a limiter that hard. We just happen to be here because we referenced Tommy Vercetti. So if I dropped this master by 4 dB and let the drums peak even louder, then we would be 4 dB louder than Tommy Vercetti on Spotify. Well, our drum peaks would be, because our average would be... the LUF is an average, right? It's not a peak. So... LUFS, sorry. That's an average, not a peak. So we would probably sound better than him at... or his engineer. I'm not sure if he masters his own stuff. Exactly. Don't squash the drums. At all costs. It's dance music. Yes, I'm just going off what I'm hearing. Now, if you're ever doing anything for TV broadcasts, they'll probably reject it because they can measure clipping, right? So, and they've got standards. We don't have standards. But until you do broadcast standard stuff, just mix at master level and then release it. You really no more need to overthink it. Obviously, you need the ear training to dial all that in, you know. It takes time, like anything. Because just like you can't hear chords or notes yet, maybe, you might not be able to hear clipping as obviously as I can, because I'm really sensitive to it now. So more clipping will annoy me more than it will you. You might just hear it as high energy. Like, have you ever heard the genre funk? Phonk? You guys come across that yet? It's a few years old. The whole thing with funk is just distorting the master in like it's supposed to sound like a car stereo that's been overloaded kind of thing. You find it in more hip-hoppy genres, but I've heard it done with dance as well. Now that's just like, that's too much distortion for me personally, but it's still a desirable sound for some people. So this whole nonsense of don't clip or go into the red and that kind of thing, it's entirely subjective. It's if it sounds good, it's good. Hardcore and Gabba, they did a lot of that, yeah. No, funk is, I suppose so. Hardcore and Gabba use really distorted kick drums. Definitely, yeah, same kind of principle. Everyone's got their own thing they're into, different trends, so everything's subjective. Well, unless you get absolutely no streams because it's that bad, then it's not that subjective, is it? But you know what I mean. Yeah, the kind of master level that we are at here is not going to cause us any less or more streams. A couple of dB either way. So yeah, don't overthink it. Just get it right versus your references, and that's all that matters. And well, get it right in the groove sense, more importantly, in dance music. So we have a kind of basic structure here. We have one more option on the piano. I'm not sure. I'm torn on whether the sidechain should be on the breaks without the kick drum. Without it, it's going to be too loud, so I may just drop in. Let's just try this. I'm going to try -4. Let's group these and return the piano up 4. Close enough. And this goes off. Oh no, I've done it the wrong way around. sorry. It must be getting near food time because my mind is slipping. So we want this on in the breaks. And we want the sidechain off in the breaks. Sorry, my bad.
You give me everything that a girl could ever need.
In the vocal.
Yeah, you're the kind of man that could help me to believe. Just keep on showing me all the light you got in you. We set each other free when we really get in tune, baby. You give me everything. 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 You give me everything.
Subliminal lick. I like it.
You give me everything. You give me everything. You give me everything that a girl could ever need. Yeah, you're the kind of man that could help me to believe. Just keep on showing me all the light you got in you. We set each other free when we really get to it.
Oh no, we need sidechain there. Now we've got heavy distortion on the vocal because we're at 0, right? So put that on in the breaks. Pretty damn good. What do you reckon? Apologies to was it Chung from South Korea? I don't think I managed it in 30 minutes. If you're still with us. Oh yeah, I can see you're up there. Yeah. Beatport top 10. Well, I've got a separate rant on that. You know what makes this top 10? It's unfortunately the hard reality of it is it's not. This song could be the best song in the world and never see. I'm using air quotes here. Chart. In inverted commas, chart success. It's more about the story that's spread around the song, if that makes sense. The fact that I have a fan base because I have a YouTube channel is more likely to spread the song than the song being good itself. Does that make sense? That's all a big part of this thing, right? So when you get many, many years down the line, even when you're comfortable with engineering, musicianship, all that kind of stuff, what you start to learn is how to integrate your identity into tracks. Obviously, this is just a Tommy Vercetti alike for the sake of a YouTube exercise, right? So I've got my own things I would do to this in a kind of muso way, but all options are valid, but it's how you sell it. It's how you sell it to the audience. It has to be. There's 70,000 songs are uploaded to Spotify every day. Not sure about Beatport. It's probably similar now because it's the same distribution network. But 70k, that's what you're up against. So you need a story to go with your song, why it was made in the first place. So this song is more likely to do well because we did it live as an exercise in making a Tommy Vercetti style track. It's going to do well based on that more than it is based on the actual chords and sound quality and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? There's so much more to the music than just the music, and that's really important now when there's so much music out there. It's a really shocking fact. 70,000 songs a day, so that's about 2.34 million a year. But the other fact is 85% of Spotify profiles don't have more than 50 listeners. So there's lots out there, but no one is getting discovered. So it's really important that there's a way for people to find you, if that makes sense. Yep, give meaning to songs, yes. Yes, Oscar. Oh, sorry, I missed your previous message. How do you give meaning to songs? Yes, it's a great. That's the bit that's the hardest bit, because everyone starts making music for themselves as a hobby, and that's where your passion comes from, your love, and that's an entirely different thing. It's hard to explain, but at some point you transition from a hobby to a job. Well, I don't like calling it a job. I don't feel it like a job. I don't not want to get up in the morning to make music. if that day ever comes, I am stopping. Job is a really bad word. I'm really bad with words in this sense. I'm trying to say, that it's just the hardest. Giving the song the meaning beyond its musical elements. All the music elements are arbitrary, right? So we've got a drum beat, we've got a nice piano, we've got some vocals. You take those on paper, it's nothing special. It's what you do surrounding that. That's the really hard bit that comes many years down the line. You perfect your craft. Well, you never perfect it. Every artist is a perfectionist, and we never reach perfection. So never use the phrase "practice makes perfect." Practice makes better. You can always better your best. I can't remember who quoted that, but practice doesn't make perfect. Never makes perfect. You're never truly happy with anything, in the sense that you never think it's fully finished. Something can always be added. Something can always be done. But yeah, the hard bit comes after the music and after the engineering, after the mastering, after the social media. Well, it's all part of social media, I suppose. So, there's a high chance you guys might like my YouTube tutorials, but not necessarily like a lot of the songs I put out, right? There's two different brands there. Whereas there's some people that just like me as an artist, and they don't care how it's made. Baz has got the right idea. Yeah. Ghost produce. I have a couple of ghost gigs, yeah. They pay some of the revenue. I'm glad to say Bthelick has overtaken my ghost revenue, though. Thanks to you guys. I mean, I know the YouTube channel isn't monetized yet, but just people in general listening on Spotify and etc. Donations. Well, the donations are getting there, but it's all great. But I suppose the point I'm saying is, like in my particular example, the identity I have built is the online musician dance tutor thing. I should be better at explaining my own brand, shouldn't I? To too many hours streaming, I suppose. But I suppose the general theme is just get an identity. People call it a brand, and people think brand is a really dirty word, like a corporate marketing thing, and it certainly can be. But it just really means identity. Just pick a thing. Excuse me. Pick a hill to die on, and you can have several of them. You can have, like I do some engineering work under another name, some mastering work under another name. It's not Bthelick, and I chose Bthelick to be the music brand, right? So I just had to pick a thing because one of my favorite quotes by Zig Ziglar is, "Be a meaningful specific, not a wandering generality." Hello, Blake. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Dan Worrell in disguise. That's the best. That's the best possible compliment you could give me. I think he has a better. Well, he enunciates better than me because I think he's not from as far up north, and we tend to abbreviate our words much more. So I'm envious of Dan. He's got a better accent than me, but. Yeah, Dan's vocal cadence is phenomenal. I love the way he falls off the end of sentences. He seems to kind of look away from the mic at the end of sentences. Like it just brings a really natural full stop. And in terms of learning from him, I think that really helps with how you absorb what he's talking about. Anyway, I think he's a master, whether he intends it or not. Just gushing over Dan. He was away for 3 months, wasn't he? He didn't say what happened. He's not that kind of YouTuber, is he? Not very personal. He's also a hero in that sense, that you don't need a webcam. I don't even own a webcam, by the way. My laptop died, and I replaced it with this mini PC thing, and I completely forgot. I no longer own a webcam because of that. So, oh, Jeff's West Yorkshire. Me too, right now. Yep. Halifax. Was Manchester. Yeah. But yeah, Dan's phenomenal. I'm glad he's back. He did a new video on Soundshaper 3. Have you seen the video? I'm totally sold. I really want to buy it. Yeah, I use a gate on my YouTube videos. I use 2 multiband gates. Or else really strange little high frequency ticks come through. I can't use it live though. There's too much far too much latency to speak to you guys live. So this is just raw. This is just me straight into the I've got a Shure SM7 face reveal at 2K. You're going to make me buy a webcam. We'll see. My face is online already. It's on. If you scroll far back enough on Instagram, when I did a few photos when I went to Nashville, when I was songwriting out there. You'll see my mug. Jeff's local, great. Oh, Keeley. Yeah, Keeley. Oh, yeah, my main profile on Spotify. Yeah, I've not changed that for years. We should probably do a new shoot. Other than me stood in front of I can't remember what the shot is now. It's quite old. Anyways. I would call today a success in a minor fashion. We finished a track, pretty much. Well, yeah, I'd say this is finished. Need to do an extended version. I've not got the TikTok format down yet. I don't know how I get this down into 60 seconds, so we'll see. 90s organ. Yeah, we could do that next time. You can get a great M1 organ sound out of Vital, or we can just find a sample. JT Company don't deal with us. Oh, right, yeah. You mean as a breakdown or as a reference for the live? Noteworthy series or live series, Dolly? You're welcome, Mr. Disruptor. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, Oscar's dad's a Geordie. Northeast. That's very north, yeah. Bass Curtis, can I mail a sample? Sure. What do you want me to do with it? And what is a sample of? Is it legal? Sample's a very broad word these days. What's the sample, Bass? Bass, Bass? I don't know how you're pronouncing that. Mr. Curtis. Ah. Well, we might get away with it on a live stream. Maybe not. I'm not sure. African sample not legal. Well, it sounds interesting. We'll see. We'll see. I'll think about that. Yeah. Maybe we can try once, see if we get striked. I don't know how that works out. Or maybe we just never expose it. Having said that, YouTube's algorithm's pretty clever now. It might be a few months off. We've got quite a few suggestions ahead. I know Mr. Deep wanted a deep house tutorial as well, so I think he was next in line. Okay, Bess, maybe. Thank you, Oscar. Now, here's the next question. Anyone done YouTube Live before? How long have we been... how long are we streaming for? I didn't check. Does OBS tell me? Oh, it does. 2 hours 55. Okay. That's pretty neat. We could wrap this up for 3 hours then. And I will love you and leave you. Thank you, Lars. Thank you all for popping by. And if you are watching the vid on YouTube, hope you enjoyed. Thanks, Jay. Thanks, Blake. Thanks, Dolly. Yeah, let's play it on the track. Can I give the template away? Ooh. Legally, no. With the samples in, but there's probably a way, right? For now, Bass, we've agreed on probably one a month is all I can manage, unless I stop the actual YouTube videos. Yeah, we'll have to see. I'll have to work on the template thing. Again, the sample side of things makes it... I know it's definitely not cool to redistribute splice samples. Probably not the Mark Knight stuff either. But if I make a session entirely out of one-shots, I reckon that's probably doable. I'll think about that. Let's play it out.
You give me everything that a girl could ever need. Yeah, you're the kind of man that could help me to believe. Just keep on showing me all the light you got in you. We set each other free when we really get in tune, baby. You give me everything. 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 You give me
Guys, thank you so much. I've lost my kick drum. Anyway, thanks for a great stream, and I'll see you all next week with something. Bye bye.